Hey, what's up everyone? So today we're going to be looking at Zidane. He's an assassin type character and he thrives on his high mobility and weakening his targets to bring them down. He's one of the fastest characters in the game and he has pretty good lockdown if he can catch someone off guard and in close range. He doesn't have any long range bravery attacks which can make it difficult for him to approach, but he can make up with that with his speed and playing mind games with his target. Zidane's dash attack and one of his HP attacks applies a steal debuff to a target, which reduces their attack, defense, and speed, and increases Zidane's instead. You'll want to try and keep this active as it can really give you a power swing over your target. Zidane's X skill puts him in trance form for 30 seconds, which will increase his dash gauge by 50%. Now unfortunately this doesn't boost his attack stat, but it does empower his steal dash attack to become Mug, so now it will deal damage whenever you connect with it. Trance gives Zidane even better lockdown potential and makes him even more of a distraction for the enemy team. So currently in the arcades, Zidane is one of the least popular characters in the game. He's a bit weaker than most other characters, and this is mostly because his attacks have pretty short range, his X skill really isn't that powerful, and there's nothing else about him too spectacular to make up for those flaws. Even his HP attacks aren't anything that special, as they are either slow or have a very short range. The assassin field is pretty competitive right now with characters like Squall and Tidus who can kind of just do it better than Zidane. I imagine this is going to eventually lead into some buffs or even possibly a rework for Zidane before NT is released, and if that's the case I'll probably end up redoing this video. But Zidane was highly requested, so we will keep on anyway. It was pretty difficult to find high level videos of Zidane, so we're going to have to look over the past 5 months or so. The first YouTuber we're going to look at is Mika Nakagawa, who plays an assortment of different characters at a high level. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into this first matchup here, and I'll kind of explain Zidane's moveset as we see it. So red team is going to be Kayn, Shantoto, and Vaughn, and they're going to be going up against blue team, which is Zidane, Garland, and Vaughn. So what Zidane's role here is going to be is he's going to kind of just try and find anyone isolated, either off by themselves or in the middle of attacking somebody else and stuck in a long attack animation, and just kind of try to capitalize on that. You see he just caught Kayn there as he was attacking Vaughn, and he's actually going to throw out his HP attack, which is called Free Energy, and I just want to explain it real quick. So it's basically just a short range, frontal attack that Zidane has. It takes about a second to actually do the attack animation, but if you notice at the bottom of the screen by his health bar, he's got that buff icon which is going to be related to steal. And like I said earlier, what that does is it increases Zidane's attack, defense, and speed. And if you look over by Kayn in just a second, you'll see that debuff icon of that exact same type of icon, and that's just going to reduce Kayn's attack, defense, and speed. So like I said, Zidane's dash attack, which is steal, is going to apply that debuff, but also that free energy HP attack will apply it as well, as long as it connects. So Zidane's going to kind of use some of his mobility to try and avoid Kayn there. Garland is able to help him out though and knock Kayn away. And so what you're going to kind of notice here, and just to explain one of Zidane's more powerful bravery attacks, so in the air where Zidane is strongest, he has two attacks that kind of give him more of an angled attack. His forward aerial is one we're seeing right now, which kind of attacks at an upward angle, and then his backward aerial is going to be kind of a downward angled attack and also hit kind of below him. But what that's going to do is similar to Kuja, it gives him a lot of free reign in the air, because if someone's above him or below him, oftentimes it's going to be too hard to attack without dashing towards that target. But because he has these attacks that angle, his trajectory, he's going to be able to close those gaps really quickly and kind of have the advantage over somebody in that situation, which you kind of see right now as Kayn was above him and he was able to throw out his forward aerial there and actually hit him with an attack. So he built up a good bit of bravery there on him. You see Shantoto was focusing on somebody else, so Zidane really quickly just throws out that free energy, picks up the first kill of the game there on Shantoto. Kind of a brawl breaking down there. He threw out that free energy attack there, but like I said, it has a pretty short range and actually did miss Kayn there, even though he was focusing on Garland. So anyways, all of the teams are kind of grouped up here. Red team staying together, blue team staying together. You see Shantoto kind of move behind the enemy team there. So Zidane did use his steal attack on her, which doesn't deal damage, but gave him that buff, but he was actually punished for it and got attacked. You see Garland also fell there, so instead of rushing into a 3 versus 2, you see Zidane just kind of backing up away from the red team, waiting for Garland to return. So now that he's back, you see Kayn's actually trying to do an HP attack there on Garland. So Zidane uses his free energy to follow up and punish him for doing that long attack animation, picking up about 1000 HP damage on him. He catches Shantoto, hits her with that steal once again, which is going to give him that buff. And you see Garland kind of had Kayn locked down in a long bravery chain there, so Zidane was able to follow up with that free energy pretty easily. And looks like blue team Vaughn was able to pick up a kill there on red team Vaughn on the other side of the map, so putting red team already down to 1 health bar left. So blue team's got Ifrit summoned here. and we'll see if they can use that aggressively. Zidane is in his trance form, which means he's going to have an increased dash gauge, so he should be able to kind of rush down anybody. He tried to make a move there on Shantoto, but she used her teleport X skill, able to get away from him and not take any damage. So now he's just kind of taking a look at Vaughn. He's just kind of trying to find anybody that will be isolated. He doesn't want to rush right into this big group of 3 because if he attacks one person, he's just going to get punished by the other 2. So now that red team's kind of splitting up a little bit, trying to avoid Ifrit's attacks. Looks like Shantoto was kind of isolated off in the corner, but she did a good job of dashing around the map instead of trying to go through Zidane there. So looks like he tried to move in on Shantoto. She was able to knock him away, and that actually sets him up to get attacked by Vaughn. Even though he was kind of above Vaughn, Vaughn is using that red spiral HP attack, which is a pretty good anti-air HP attack. So Garland has Shantoto trapped in one of her attacks. Zidane hits her with his free energy and deals about 2200 HP damage, but red team Vaughn was there to follow up and punish him for that, picking up a kill there on Zidane. So Kane's got blue team Vaughn locked in an HP attack. Looks like Zidane was about to hit with his HP attack to knock Kane out of it, but on the other side of the map there, looks like Garland was able to duel Shantoto and pick up a kill there on his own, finishing off the red team and picking up the win here for the blue team. So pretty good performance there by the blue team. Zidane was able to do a good job of kind of just moving between targets, disrupting whoever he could. This map is really open and big, so it's a pretty good map for Zidane. He can kind of dash all around it, kind of have that advantage over his enemies where his dash gauge is a little bit longer whenever he's in that transform. And he was able to just kind of attack whomever was vulnerable or isolated and just kind of be a disruption so that his teammates could do what they needed to do and pick up some other HP damage as well. So even though Zidane did a really good job in this game, you kind of see what I'm talking about, I think, in the fact that even though, he played incredibly well, the highlight was still kind of on his teammates there. He did do some HP damage, but it's just kind of difficult for him to be that big of an impact because his bravery attacks are just not that impactful. Even though he has those angled attacks, like I was saying, which can be really useful in certain maps and certain situations, he did do a good job of, taking advantage of that against Kane in a couple of situations. It's really not enough to make him as big of a deal as some other characters. Either way though, this Zidane did play really solid this game, and he was able to pick up a lot of HP damage against people who weren't, paying attention to him. But back to my point that I was saying earlier, it's just that, any character can really do that, and there are other characters who can do it better than Zidane. So that's all I'm saying. He's still a good character, and he can still do, the same stuff that any other character can do in that regard. Anybody can catch someone not focusing you with an HP attack, so that makes any character kind of useful. It's just there are other characters that can kind of do it better. That steal buff and debuff is kind of an unsung thing for Zidane here that people don't focus on too much, but it can be really useful just by putting that debuff on any enemy. It'll reduce their speed among other things, but that makes it easier for his allies to actually pick up attacks and HP damage on that enemy. So even though he's not directly involved in some of these kills, he can be indirectly with some of his debuffs. Okay, so in this next match here, we're actually going to switch YouTubers to someone named Holy Miwa, another good Zidane player. Going to be using the same HP attack, so not too much different here. So blue team is going to be Zidane, Kane, and Shantoto, and they're going to be going up against Kane, Vaughn, and Cloud. So a lot of assassin characters on both sides here, probably going to be a pretty hectic fight. So another thing to note though is that red team has a lot of range on their side. They have some good poke damage. So you're going to kind of see blue team just kind of try and be careful and not get caught into too much here. You see both teams are just kind of staying grouped up, poking around a little bit with some of their bravery attacks. Now you see red team is definitely taking full advantage of their projectiles, so Zidane's just kind of trying to be careful, doesn't want to rush into anything and get caught out by an enemy here. He's kind of just trying to get to the edge, see if he can make anybody kind of isolate themselves. He tries to go after Cloud there, but really quickly Vaughn was there to punish him, so that's kind of what I'm saying here. You don't want to just rush into the middle of the red team while they're throwing out projectiles because you're just going to get caught out. So he uses his neutral aerial there on Zidane, but he was able to guard it. He catches Kane with his forward aerial here, which is called scoop art by the way. And one part of it I've neglected to mention earlier is that if you do successfully catch them in the attack, the second part of the attack throws them down into the ground like you see Kane going now, and just kind of bounces them off the ground. So it's a really good kind of combo move if anyone's in position to combo off that. You can kind of telegraph easily where the enemy's going to go, they're just going to bounce right off the ground. So you kind of can see in the future in this match, some of his allies are going to kind of use that to their advantage. So anyways, just kind of a brawl popping up here. Summoning Stone shows up, so you see everyone's already kind of grouped around it. Zidane kind of moves into it. He throws out his HP attack from the other side of the Summoning Stone, kind of making it difficult to see him, and actually picks up some HP damage there. So now Kane has kind of isolated himself. He uses his neutral aerial there, It's one of his longer attack animations, which allows teammates to kind of follow up on it. You saw Blue Team Kane try to use his HP attack, but wasn't able to connect. So I just kind of want to point this out as kind of the sign of a really good player. So Zidane is trying to attack Vaughn here, and he knows in the back of his head that Vaughn's one of his HP attacks is ground 0, because you can see which HP attacks they choose at the character select screen. So anyways, Zidane tried to attack Vaughn here. His initial attack missed, and he could have just followed up or, rush in and try to do, any other attack that he has, which most oftentimes you would see, since you kind of see in the minimap that Blue Team is surrounding Vaughn a little bit here. But he knows that if he does that and Vaughn has time to throw out ground 0, he's actually going to counter with an HP attack himself. So what he does is, Vaughn throws out ground 0, Zidane waits, ground 0 in, so then Vaughn uses his shield. Zidane keeps using a bravery attack to lock him down, and then Kane follows up with an HP attack because Vaughn was locked in his shield. So great awareness there by Zidane, and great teamwork there by him and Kane. So just another skirmish kind of coming up here. Everyone's kind of throwing out some of their HP attacks, some of their bravery attacks. Red team is summoning now, and now they have Ramu active, but if you notice, Vaughn was right in front of Zidane here. Zidane was already throwing out his HP attack, so I doubt Vaughn's going to have time to get away. He does not. So Zidane picking up some HP damage there on Vaughn. Kane was there to punish Zidane for it, but only dealing some bravery damage. So Ramu's active, so Zidane's going to have to be pretty careful here. You see him kind of dashing out of Ramu's attacks. He dashes in to try to attack Cloud. He has to dodge away because of Ramu's attacks though, so Vaughn has an easy time punishing him for that in that dash animation, and picks up some bravery damage there. And that bad situation kind of led to him taking some HP damage in that regard. So everyone's kind of up above Zidane here. You see he used that scoop art there and kind of kicks Kane down to the bottom. Blue Team Kane is able to kind of follow up with it and deal some damage to Red Team Kane. They've kind of got him isolated now in this back corner. Blue Team all throws out their summon at the same time there, so now they instantly get Ramu active. So now they will now have the advantage of his attacks. So Blue Team's all really grouped up here. They're trying to corner Kane here. Zidane actually gets a little greedy, throws out an attack that's not doesn't have enough range to reach Kane, so he misses his attack. Kane's able to follow up with an HP attack and pick up the kill there on Zidane. So even game now, and okay, as I say that, Shantoto actually dies there in the corner in that 2v3 scenario, and actually Blue Team goes down to 1 health bar left. So it looks like Vaughn is trying to chase down Zidane there. Cloud actually gets caught by Ramu here, so Zidane was able to throw out that scoop art, pick up some good bravery damage on him, and it looks like Vaughn died off on the corner there by, I think it was Kane. So this is kind of a perfect team combo here. So what's happening is, Cloud was kind of ahead of his team there, but Kane and Zidane were kind of around him. So Cloud was at that perfect angle for Zidane to connect with that scoop art. So it's exactly what happened, and so now he's going to kick Cloud into the ground, and you see down below, Kane was waiting in the wings for that. So as soon as Cloud hits the ground, Kane starts a bravery attack, and the reason he's doing a bravery attack is because he doesn't have enough bravery to kill Cloud just immediately. He only had 1,000 bravery, Cloud's got 1,700 health. So he's going to lock in that bravery attack, and both Red Team Kane and Vaughn are still kind of too far away to interrupt in this short period of time. So Zidane's immediately going to rush in while Cloud is locked into that bravery attack from Kane, throw out his free energy, and actually pick up the kill there on Cloud, winning the game there for the Blue Team. So a perfect little team combo there. That's definitely one of the things that Zidane has to offer, is that some of his attacks, that one, and most of his aerials really, are pretty easy to combo with, and it's kind of easy to telegraph where the opponent is going to go. But at the same time, they're pretty quick moves, and he's got so much mobility that it can be kind of difficult to punish him for them. So it's definitely a strength that Zidane offers. He seems to work pretty well with other assassin characters that can kind of really quickly move in and work with what Zidane is doing. So a pretty good game there by the Blue Team, and a nice showing there by Zidane, kind of showing off some of his abilities there. Okay, for this last matchup here, we're going to actually move back to the first two YouTubers that we were looking at here. And so Blue Team is going to be Zidane, Vaughn, and Lightning, and Red Team is going to be Furion, Ace, and Lightning. So once again, a lot of assassins on both sides here. We've got 2 assassins on the Blue Team, not to mention Vaughn is a pretty fast character as well, so a lot of speed here for the Blue Team. They're going to have to use that mobility a lot because Red Team definitely has the advantage in the range category because they have Ace, and Furion also has some long range attacks as well. So you see Zidane immediately goes after Lightning here, throws out his neutral aerial, picking up some damage. Everyone's just kind of moving into one spot here and just throwing out some of their attacks. Once again, Zidane is chasing after Lightning, but he doesn't want to commit too hard, so he stops. He actually catches Furion while he's not paying too much attention, catches him with a neutral air, While Furion's still in the air, he actually catches him one more time with his neutral aerial and dealing a good amount of bravery damage there. He catches lightning with it as well, picking up some more damage. He sees that Furion's still in the air. That's never where Furion wants to be, so he tries to catch him with another attack, but Furion actually is able to drop to the ground first instead. So now he tries to catch Ace here. Ace is able to dodge away, so Zidane just moves back, doesn't win to get caught by Furion here. Although, as I say that, he actually does take a couple of attacks there from Furion, but nothing too substantial. He tries to move in on Ace and throw out his HP attack, but unfortunately the range is just too short, not able to pick up the attack on him, and instead gets punished by Furion. So he is able to pick up some damage there on Furion, connects with his neutral aerial again, but Lightning was close by and was able to throw out her HP attack, dealing significant damage to Zidane and actually picking up the kill there on Vaughn. So Zidane's going to have to be kind of careful here not to get caught by anything in the future. He does have his HP regain X skill though, so he throws that out so his HP is slowly ticking back up. He's in his transform now, so he's got that extra dashing. He's just kind of dashing around trying to find out who to attack. Furion is kind of by himself, so he throws out that dash attack. Instead of Steel, it's Mug now since he's in transform, so it actually deals some damage, but otherwise it's the same. Lightning actually has Ace trapped on the wall here. She tries to use her HP attack, but Zidane runs up and uses his instead because he actually has enough bravery to pick up a kill there. So now that's going to end up being a kill on Ace and evening up the HP bars on both sides. So blue team is doing their summon now. They're going to have Ramuh active. We'll see if they can make anything happen with this. Like I said, red team still has 2 HP bars, so a lot more fighting left to go on here. So Zidane's just kind of dashing around, staying with his team here, trying to see where they want to pick apart red team. As red team kind of starts to split, you see he's kind of looking at Furion, but now he moves in towards Lightning and catches her with a neutral aerial. You see on the mini-map here, the rest of blue team is kind of standing in between Zidane and Lightning. So Zidane has the ability to kind of catch her one more time with an attack, wall rush, and then use his free energy attack to pick up the kill. So nice moves there by Zidane, and also really good job by the blue team to kind of stand in between red team and Zidane and Lightning, allowing Zidane to kind of pick up that kill. So they're all kind of fighting this force here. Everyone on blue team has a ton of bravery. Zidane once again catches Lightning in a neutral aerial attack, and like I said in the last game, it lasts for kind of a long time, so it's the best move, or one of his best moves at least, for allowing his teammates to combo. So as he's doing that, Vaughn moves in, gets that red spiral attack right under where Zidane and Lightning are, able to pick up the HP damage to kill off Lightning there and finish off the game. So really good job there by the blue team, and kind of showcases what I was saying about Zidane. He's got a lot of little bravery attacks that can lock people down for a period of time. He's definitely one of those lockdown type characters. That neutral aerial is one of his better attacks for that kind of situation. He definitely works really well with other characters that can kind of use HP attacks from a distance, like Vaughn is a good example using that red spiral or some of his other attacks. Or, you know, characters like Terra with her Meteor, Ramza with his holy attack, things like that. But at the same time, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, whenever you're looking for a character that can do that, that can have high mobility, high lockdown potential, you think of characters like Zidane, but you also think of characters like Squall, who can do a lot of the same things that Zidane can do, maybe sacrifices a little bit of mobility, but brings a lot more damage to the table. You could probably also argue that Squall or Tidus' HP attacks are probably just stronger right now than Zidane's, because you can see kind of the short range that a lot of them have, and when you look at some of Zidane's other HP attacks, they kind of have those same issues. This free energy is probably one of his more popular ones. There's also another one that can put him in transform called Solution 9, but it suffers from the same problem though, which is kind of short range. But unless you're really trying to min-max here, you know, if you're just playing to have fun, Zidane's definitely still a good character. This game is really balanced, so there's really not any bad characters. Squall might be, you know, an inch better, but Zidane can still definitely get it done. You kind of saw that in this game. He kind of popped off a little bit, picking up 2 kills and kind of setting up the third one. I definitely think he pairs well with other assassin type characters because he can combo better with those type of characters, and I would imagine he pairs pretty well with marksman type characters who have long range HP attacks that can kind of combo with his bravery attacks. So yeah, that's kind of a quick overview of Zidane here. He's definitely a strong character if you need somebody to anchor the aerial game and need an assassin character for combos. So shout out once again to the YouTubers whose videos I used. I've got their channels linked down below. They both have a couple of other Zidane matches that are kind of from the past. Like I said, I had a really hard time finding Zidane videos in the past few months. I guess it's just because he's not a very popular character over in Japan, either because he's not very strong or because other characters are just more popular, I'm not sure. But yeah, a lot of the footage from him is from a while ago. Hopefully they'll buff him sometime soon, and I have a feeling they will eventually, at least before the console game comes out. but buff him a little bit, just kind of put him more in line with some of those other characters. But anyways, definitely check out those two YouTubers if you want to see some more Zidane action or some of the other characters they might play. So as always, thanks everybody for watching. I will see you guys again next Friday for another video. Have a good one.